Download the BCSN Plus app today.
For this week's On the Mats, we're headed out to Napoleon, where BCSN's Brandon Carnes gives us a look at one Wildcat on the prowl for some state hardware.
After a fifth-place finish at the Shot last season, Napoleon's George Eggers is ready to climb that podium this season in Columbus. Both he and Coach Seiler think now he has the mindset that matches his physical skill set.
At the state tournament last year, I feel like we gave away one in the quarterfinals. We thought we'd be in the state finals, but we also use it as a learning tool and something they can use this year at the state tournament.
For me, it's a lot of mindset stuff. So the past years, I haven't cut any weight, so my mindset's there, my physical strength's there, and I think like into this year, all that technique just adds up and it comes together and it works as a whole.
It has all added up to an undefeated regular season for Eggers and finally getting himself a coveted pit championship earlier this season.
It means a lot to me because it's been a tournament that I've wanted to wrestle under that spotlight since my freshman year. I watched my brother wrestle under a spotlight and it's just something, it's where I wanted to be at, and I was able to get it done this year, which is pretty neat.
Not only did he win a title, he just absolutely dominated the competition all weekend. So, that just kind of says the type of season that he's had to be able to do that, especially at that tournament.
George Eggers takes the victory 7-0.
Now comes the part of the season to ratchet up the intensity and begin prep for the end goal, another trip to the Shot.
This time of year is about, the intensity. Some things that you may have got away with earlier in the year, you don't get away with this time of year, and, kind of trying to fix those things and pick up the intensity on match days.
So coming into February, towards the end of the month, you got to have that win or go home mindset, and it's like something that helps me, and I think if once other kids pick it up, it helps them towards the postseason matches and stuff.
Time now for my favorite segment of the week, On the Mats with Coach Craig Levinsky, and it wouldn't be complete without that man, Coach Craig Levinsky. Coach, the thing that really stuck out to me about this package compared to the other ones that we've seen is Eggers hasn't had to make a weight jump of any kind.
Oh, that's fantastic. And he's right where he needs to be. He's not cutting weight. He's not worried about it. He's eating dinner. He's training. He's lifting. And he's getting the work in. And again, weight's not an issue.
And that's got to give him a little bit more confidence than everybody else who we've seen wanting to get back to the podium. He's got to fine-tune, but he doesn't have to drastically change anything.
Right, he already has that done. I mean, if you start checking things off your list as you're getting ready for the state tournament and making that run, weight's one of them, and he's got that under control already.
Going back to his last year at state, right? Obviously didn't go the whole way, but got just close. What does he have to add this year to go to the podium?
Well, he lost a tough one. Coach Seiler said that he thought he had it. He thought he had one in there. He has to just keep doing what he's doing. He's got to eliminate the things that have been getting him in trouble. Coach mentioned it. Things that you do at state tournament, they get exposed. He's got to wrestle solid. He's got to wrestle tough. He's got to wrestle the way he's capable of wrestling, and he'll do fine.
He's got to wrestle confidently, and that partially comes with winning the pit this year. That's got to give him an extra bit of fire in his belly.
Well, and the way he's winning, he's dominating. He's dominating for the whole weekend, from start to finish. It's not just a good finals. It's not just a good round. It's a good weekend, and that's what he's going to need down in Columbus.
Speaking of finishing and that mindset, the win or go home mentality is something you mentioned there. And you had an interesting saying when we were watching this the first time.
Well, it's always that way. It's not win or go home. It's win and get it done. I mean, it is what it is. And he understands, and he set himself, hey, I have to win or it's all over. And that starts with sectionals. In a couple weeks, we'll be going into sectionals, and that's where it starts. If you don't place in sectionals, you don't go to district. You don't place top 4 district, you don't go to state. He understands that, and he knows what it takes to be a winner.
Win or go home is not a mentality for George Eggers. It's a fact. Right.
Oh, absolutely. He knows what he has to do. He's projected right now, preseason ranked into second in the state, which is no reason why he couldn't be there. He has to go out there and do what he has to do.
Another athlete coming up next week. We'll go back on the mats on Wednesday. But until then, Coach Levinsky, thanks for coming in studio.
Thanks for having me.